You probably find my views controversial. I tend to follow logic and reason, wherever that might take me. I'm interested in truth. Unfortunately, most people like to follow their feelings and end up with lies, believing in lies. Propaganda, basically. One of my hobbies is watching true crime. And I couldn't help but notice that most of the victims, we're talking about people who get raped now, sexual crimes, because most crimes that I watch seem to be sexual. And most of the victims are young girls. When I say young girls, of course, I'm probably talking about women under 30 going right the way down to children. Children being pre-pubescent. As soon as they become pubescent, of course, they're young adults. Don't listen to the lies that they're children still, they're not. Because if you are going to take that stance with me, you've got to understand that the mind that they get as an adolescent is feelings, they follow their feelings first and only think about it later if they get caught for whatever they've done. But that behaviour will last right up to the age of 25 and won't change until they hit 26, that adolescent mind. So if you really want to call adolescents children, you've got to call a 25-year-old a child as well and treat them the same way you would as a 14 or 15-year-old. Let's get back to the torture, the kidnapping, the torture and the murder of these girls. Well, what happens normally, people get caught at the very beginning of their offences to do with sex. Maybe they've been flashing and they get caught for that, or maybe they've attempted to rape someone. Again, the police have arrested them. It could be that they did rape someone, and because the girl was a prostitute, the police didn't really take that much notice, and neither did the courts, so they got very little time, maybe no time in prison. A lot of these people at the very beginning of this evilness that they do, they either don't go to prison, probation maybe, or if they do go to prison, it's for a little time. Even if they went to prison for a long time, it's been proved that 20, 25 years, these people get out, they go straight back to killing, torturing. They can't change. It's part of their character, it's part of their nature. What happens though, when these people get caught at the very beginning, normally it's because they didn't kill the victim. The victim lived to tell. And as soon as they find out in court the reason why they've been convicted, they make a decision at that point that they're going to kill the future victims. They haven't made a decision that they're going to stop because they hate prison. It's because they simply figured out a way of, they've simply become better and better at their crimes. I'll give you an example of one fellow. He saw this good-looking girl get out of her car. This is in America, and she went into the, this was at a petrol station, and they got shops there as well. So she went into the shop at the petrol station and left her car unlocked. He sneaked into the back seat of the car, hidden down there in the darkness, so to speak. Well, as she went to open the door of the car to get back in, she noticed him. So she went back to the shop and phoned the police. He got arrested. As far as I know, he didn't even get any time inside. He didn't even get probation, I don't think. He got told off and possibly a fine. I can't remember now, but there's nothing at all. Slap on the wrist. But of course, that was just the beginning, the first step into the horrors that he would commit. Eventually, this man ended up grabbing girls off the streets, tying them up, torturing them, raping them, and murdering them in the most horrifying ways with knives and hammers. All because the law allowed him to go free at the beginning. People like this can't change. It's part of who they really are. You can send them to psychiatrists and they will make out that they've changed. In fact, you'll find this type of person behaves very well in prison because they can't commit these crimes, you see, so they behave well. And normally, even outside, you'll find that these people blend in so well because 95% of the time, they're behaving like normal people. It's only that small percentage at the end where they go out to kill when the feeling takes them. It wouldn't be so bad if they was just killing, maybe shooting someone dead on the spot. But these people are torturing, raping, which is again another torture, and killing in the most atrocious ways. We can put a stop to this by simply making a few changes in the law and recognising these people from the very beginning when they start these things, especially now with the media that we have and the computers. We know exactly what people are up to. If people are ordering books on torture on the internet, we know that this person's probably going to get into torturing. And they also normally like to collect knives and things like that. Or they might be fascinated by fire, setting fire to things. These people cannot be set free once they're caught. It is a sickness, and these people do behave very well in prison. They get wonderful reports every year, and they become trustees in prisons. And then the people behind all this, the prisons and that, they think that these people have changed. Look at the record, a glaringly good record, spotless. Let's give the person another chance. This is after 20, 25 years. Well, of course, if they do, that person's going to go straight back to what they was doing. And more victims. The trouble is, you've got people, especially religious people, who think that humans are special. They will say, we can't just lock people up like that on before they actually commit that crime of murder, of torture. We can't, because we could get it wrong. And we could be putting an innocent person in prison. Well, I say you've got to weigh that up against all those innocent children and girls being tortured and murdered. They didn't get a choice. The victims never got a choice. And the ones who perpetrated the crimes, they didn't care about the suffering of the victims. They got enjoyment from it. We've got to lock these people up as soon as we find them in childhood, and we can quite easily. They're normally psychopaths. The psychopaths are normally born, I find. They've got the tendency there, and something will happen and they think, oh yeah, I enjoy this violence. So normally they might be bullies at school. They're fascinated by fire, torturing animals. As soon as we find any of these type of children around, they've got to be locked up forever. Personally, I would like to see them killed, but because of the religious people following feelings and saying that these people are special because they're born human, okay, lock them away forever. The trouble is, quite often these people escape, or they slip through the legal side of things and they get out early, all sorts of problems, and they get out to kill. We're not talking about killing one or two people here. We're talking about killing dozens of people, torturing, murdering dozens of people in the most horrific way. So let's change the laws now and get these people before they can take the next step up the ladder of hell. If you like this video, you'll probably be interested in reading my ebook, Human or Demon, by Thomas R. Valentine, as in Valentine's Day. And please give me the thumbs up and click on the subscribe button.